Hi, it's Mrs. Mallet, and today we're going to talk about factoring the difference of two squares. Now, I have this formula up here, right here, to show you what it's going to look like. This is what the original problem would look like, and it factors out into one being a positive and one being a negative. Okay, so let me show you that with numbers. So here's the a squared minus b squared. So now this is going to factor out. We're going to have two binomials here, and one's going to be a plus and one's going to be a minus. So now how do you know what goes in on the inside? Okay, well, you know x squared breaks down to an x here and an x here. But 25, when I talk about squares, what number multiplied by itself twice is 25? Or in other words, what counting number multiplied by itself twice is 25? Well, 5 times 5 is 25, so you know you'll have 5s going here. So this will factor out to x plus 5 times x minus 5. And that's it. Remember, I said if you were to FOIL that, you would come back out to the x squared minus 25. So when you do these, you know you're going to have an x plus and an x minus something. So that's the easy part. But the back part is, okay, look at that last number and figure out what counting number multiplied by itself twice is going to get that number. So in my case here, I have 81. What times what is 81? That's right, 9 times 9. I love the difference of squares. Okay, even when you have a number in front, it works the exact same way. You know you're going to have a plus something and a minus something. Okay, so 9x squared. Well, what is that? What times what is 9? 3. And then of course you know you're going to have an x here and a 3x here. And now we have 1. 1 times 1 is always 1. So this will factor down to 3x plus 1 times 3x minus 1. Notice we are factoring the difference of squares. Difference means subtraction. Okay, so now let's look at this example here. I have x squared plus 4. Is that a difference? No. You can't factor this out and say this will be x plus 2 times x plus 2. That doesn't work because when you FOIL that out, you have x squared is your first, your outside is plus 2x, your inside is plus 2x again, and your last, the 2 times 2 is 4. And you can combine these two terms, so you have x squared plus 4x plus 4. Is this the same thing as this? No, it's not the same thing. These two are two different polynomials. So you can't factor this. All that to say, that cannot be factored because of that plus right here. Remember, we're factoring the difference. So all that to say, anytime you have a plus, that is going to be prime. Every time. Look for that plus to tell you that it's going to be prime. Okay? So now let's do this last example here. This time I have x to the 4th minus 16. So you do know you'll have your two binomials here. One will be a plus and one will be a minus. So now x to the 4th, what does that break down to? Well, it breaks down to being 2x's here. Right? So far. So now 16. What number multiplied by itself twice is 16? Right, 4 times 4. So you know you have x squared plus 4 and x squared minus 4. Now my first question to you is this x squared minus 4 here. Can that be factored down further? No. Remember, we're factoring the difference of a square, not the sum, the difference. But this can be factored down further, the x squared minus 4, because 4 is a square as well. Okay, so let's factor it down further. What times what is 4? You know you have a plus here and a minus here. Right, it's 2. So this will factor down to x plus 2 and x minus 2. And we need to go ahead and bring down our first binomial of x squared plus 4. So now your final answer would be x squared plus 4 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, this works the exact same way when you have fractions. Let's say that you had x squared minus 4 over 9. This works the exact same way because 4 is a perfect square as well as 9 is. The 4 will break down to 2 and the 9 will break down to 3. So you know you have x plus 2/3 and x minus 2/3. I wanted to show you one with a fraction so you can see it works the exact same way. Okay, so we're factoring the difference of squares, and remember you want to look for what counting number multiplied by itself twice gets you that number. Hence the name square.